property. So the contractor is coming over. So Lindsay also got canceled today. So she jumped on, and so we're going to record and talk about. Sounds like they're going to talk about their retirement plan, why they maybe pivoted to real estate, and maybe 2026 goals. You mentioned something on the Gen Z call this morning, right? Kind of what your maybe visions of either doubling down or taking a break. Maybe you can fill the audience in, but so what are you looking forward to that? And maybe you can dig into more of the retirement options of real estate and why you folks are doubling down on that.
Yeah, so I think I talked about it in school, but I've been a W-2 employee for majority of my life. I never had any entrepreneurship skill. But real estate, kind of opened the door to like passive income. At the same time, I work long hours, and kind of why I only have Saturday and Sunday to do this kind of recordings, lives, and YouTube and other things. But I am trying to transition from W-2 to my private practice next year. So that would require a lot of my attention, a lot of skills that I don't have, like learning how to market a business, how to grow a portfolio, like a practice. So I really want to focus on that because it would allow me, once it's set up, it'll allow me to work less. So half the hours maybe, and I can pour more of myself into the real estate business by working less on my W-2. So not completely leaving it, but trying to make in the same amount of income, right? If I move from my W-2 to my private practice and working less. But that is my goal for next year. And that because I am such a, not a planner, but I'm such a person that needs to have like some type of financial security first. I need to save, in my mind, at least I put this goals podcast of like, I need to have a years of savings because since I'm opening up a new business, I'm not going to profit. So that means hopefully I even break even the first year, right? So that means I have to pay all my bills. I live in California. I live in Los Angeles. I have a mortgage. I have 2 cats and 1 dog. And so with that comes bills. And then also leaving your W-2, losing insurance. So that comes with an additional bill for health insurance as well.
So you were trying, I think I heard you, you're trying to reduce your hours though with the W-2. Is that correct? Or
Yeah, so I would essentially stop working like 50 hours a week, and maybe while my practice is growing, maybe I'll even work 20. I don't know because I will have to grow my clientele because I work with patients and stuff. So maybe that will take less hours away from my job. So I need like a lot of safety rails for me.
so does that mean like sounds like so Dylan, if people don't know who's in the school community also is he just picked up a W-2 back up,
Mhm.
right? So he's looking at it more for financing, getting more money to invest in real estate. So he's kind of looking at it where maybe he stepped away too early, like it maybe slowed his progress down, seems like. Is that kind of why maybe you want that W-2 also?
Well, W-2 provides you a sense of safety, PTO, if you got hurt, you have workers' comps, all those things. So it's stepping into entrepreneurship and your own business. You don't have those things. Like kind of like, what is it? What you kill is what you eat kind of thing. So um, I never done that. But knowing, having the safety, like more portfolio and real estate and Gary, it's sustaining itself and it's bringing some type of profit, like knowing that I've done that over the last 3 years and that I don't have to, in my mind, technically worry about that, it's making money while I'm sleeping. I also decided to venture off, like giving myself more confidence and venture off of doing my own thing, my own company for uh, profit. And then so but while doing that transition, I still getting some money. It's not going to be like working full time hours, 50 hours a week, but I'd rather do that so it decreases the amount of time me spending on my W-2, but making maybe the same amount of money when it's successful, if it becomes successful. And I can put myself more into real estate and to YouTube and to podcasting and to doing all the things that I enjoy also doing.
So sounds like I think Violetta, though, kind of is in a different space, right? So she completely quit her W-2, right? So she's gone all in on real estate. So how does that work for you guys? I guess discussions, and is that kind of what your guys' podcast is about? You guys kind of have different views on this path to, I guess, financial freedom.
Yeah, so she is a mom, and then she definitely wants to slow down for her daughter. She wants to be present for her daughter, and that's amazing. Like, I wish, my mom was there when I was growing up, like her. And she lives outside of the city, so she lives kind of in a recluse space. And then she's able to leave her W-2. Her husband still works, but she's able to leave her W-2 because she has, like, I think, VA disability as well, and the profit from real estate. And now she's working on her. We're working on real estate half which she is trying to grow and scale, and that could be an additional source of income in the future as well. So, and then she's present for her daughter's upbringing, like that. That is the goal for her.
Well, interesting. So Frank, old guy REI, says, I think if you can have the security of a regular W-2, you should hang on to it because working for yourself isn't always puppies and kittens. Interesting.
I I do. That's why it was so hard for me to like come up to this decision. I do agree with Frank and all of the benefits you also get with the W-2, like retirement accounts, so insurance, HSA, whatever, flexible things account, and all those things. But at the same time, um, I making myself do this like jump per se risk, but I can always come back to a W-2. So even if I fail, let's say I'm gonna give it a year. If I fail in 1 year and I don't see the income producing, or I don't see myself uh, growing, and I don't see myself like reaching the goal of like working half as much, but bringing the same income, then I'm gonna go back to a W-2. That is how I'm looking at it.
Hyder is saying a W-2 is less secure than most people think, in my opinion. It's still relying on someone else, which is not a good vulnerability, again, in my opinion. Yep, I can see that too. I think the biggest thing, if you're relying strictly on your W-2, and that's a dangerous position to be in. Whereas like you are already building this other side of, I don't want to say passive income, but other income sources, and you're leveraging the W-2, but you're not solely retiring on it, right?
Right.
I think you also mentioned this morning the Gen Z call you were wrapping up an ADU, or no, this year you did an ADU, right?
Yeah.
And so you're in California. You also have properties in Gary, right? What
Mhm.
is the plan moving forward? Are you going to be in both markets, or are you going to start transitioning some of that cash flow into more like near you, like California properties, possibly?
I was looking at that too since I got the ADU. Um, and now it's been rented for like 3 months now. It's significantly alleviating my mortgage expenses, right? Like when I purchased, it was in 2019. My mortgage is $3,000. My ADU is renting for 2,000. So like the house hack, it's pretty good here. So I'm trying to find if that's a strategy I would like to move into for 2026. I don't plan to do burrs in 2026. I don't plan to add more to the portfolio because I need to concentrate on moving into my own business. So it's going to be like you. I'm going to be like you for 2026, just like looking for a fire and getting FOMO from everybody else. But we'll see. Would teach me a lesson in patience as well. But but yeah, so my boyfriend has student loans, about $80,000 worth of student loans, and I wanna do one flip in California. That's my goal, a live-in flip. So we'll see if we can do that. I don't know if my skills are gonna translate from the Gary market to Los Angeles, but we wanted to do a live-in flip and then test the waters out, and then see if we can wipe off his student loans with one flip or no.
Yeah, I do see some new people jumping on. I see Marlon RE and John deconstructing dreams. So I know who's dealing with a lot of issues at his property recently, so he's trying to push through things, get to the holidays. But just letting everyone know, I did pivot. I was going to do the weekly Bitcoin wrap up with Coach Nick, lead Prejado, but he dealing with some real estate issues actually right now. So he's meeting a contractor for his ceiling is leaking, I believe. So I pivoted. Lindsay was going to record today. Hers got canceled. So I said, hey, let's just do a live stream real quick. But I think everyone loves seeing Lindsay. So how hard do you think it's going to be? Like you just mentioned, it's kind of sitting back in 2026. Like, do you think it's going to be possible for you to? Are you going to look at things? I guess I should say, if the plan is to sit back, are you still going to be looking at your markets?
It's already hard. I've been looking at you closely and posting on Facebook, and I'm like, oh, I should look at deals, but I'm trying actively not to look at deals and not to get I guess left behind. But no, I did sign up for a class, like me trying to stay back on January 18th, investment in Bakersfield, California. So I was just like, oh, I'm just gonna sit down for the class. I'm not gonna do anything, but it's really hard for me to stay put for sure.
I think that's where the whole live streams and YouTube helped me out. Actually, right? It kept me busy, and I think Yasik may have commented that in the Gen Z call um, about. I think so. Dylan getting a W-2. Yasik commented it's also a way to not waste money or spend money because you don't have as much free time in a sense. So I think that's where this whole YouTube channel and growing this kept me busy from looking at listings as much as some people are doing, right? So like you're saying, you're just trying to find other areas to spend your time, right? But Flavio is saying, Lindsay, 2026 is the year to buy. So what do
I
you have to
feel
say
like
to that?
Flavia is like the little devil over here, and then I have Jessic, and just like, no, just do your girl. And then Flavia is like, no, this is the only time. But no, it's funny because I do feel like there's a lot of opportunity coming up on 2026. So who knows? Maybe I'm also limiting myself. I question myself a lot. I question my thoughts a lot because I was like, maybe I just don't have the mindset that I can do everything at the same time. Because then you see a lot of people pushing themselves to the max, and I feel that I'm pretty conservative in my investing, and I have to have like a lot of metrics for me to be able to take off and then just like not think about things. Um, and then so I'm always trying to see, am I being too conservative? Am I being too risky? Am I being too conservative? Usually I feel like I lean conservative, um, because again, guys, I only depend on myself. Like my income is what feeds me, and I don't have any like buddy to back me up technically. So if I stop working, I would be the one that suffers. So yeah.
Yeah, Frank says being patient is difficult. And then here's the devil on your shoulder again. I don't know if he's talking to you and him or he's talking like us, but he says, I challenge you who can buy first next deal. So I don't know if he's challenging you himself, but he's basically challenging you right, who can buy the next deal, I believe.
I think when you talk about with experienced investors, like the majority of people will say, like, you do have to have some time to optimize. And I think I haven't had any time to optimize either. So, Flavia, I also hear you having some troubles, like not being able to cash flow from your properties, because maybe you also need to take a rest and like trying to, make sure that you're renting to the right people, make sure you're taking care of problems that are not going to become headaches like later on down the future. So maybe you also need to rest. Maybe you're listening to the advice that you don't want to listen to.
John Litz says W2 gets a bad rap. Yes, we're all looking for time freedom, financial freedom. W2 is great for making lending criteria happy for more real estate. Gaining skills, create promotions. You have overtime. Yeah.
I don't have overtime on salary.
My only thing to that is, I guess I would almost look at it as a crutch to some standpoint, if that's your only reason is from a lending standpoint, because there is other options out there, right? So, like for myself, I just strictly am DSCR, I mean, that's the only loan products that I use, right? So it's not based on your W-2 or anything, right? It's just basically based off the asset. So I think at some point that's where most people are going to be anyways as an investor, right? So I think if you're primarily keeping a W-2 for that lending reason, then maybe, that's something I would reevaluate possibly, right?
Yeah,
Um,
I feel like your mindset changes all the time because in the past I used to be like, well, I'll just work more for more money, right? I'll just work more hours. I'll work 60 hours, I'll work 70 hours. And then somebody told me, like, I guess at the right time, like, you don't need to work more, you just need to work smarter. So that meant, and at the time, like changing jobs, finding, optimizing, like higher paid. That meant like taking short term contracts in other cities, like traveling, nursing, and all those things. Then it became like, oh, I need to make sure I have some type of passive income when I'm not working. Somebody should be working for me. Like something should be working for me. That became about investing, like moving into money into stocks. But that was a mindset change. Like, can I create passive income? I don't know. Then that became from stocks. Then became for houses. When I started buying houses, then it was all about, oh, well, I need to buy better, lower prices, better deals to optimize my passive income. That was a whole mindset. And then it became to like, I don't even need money to make passive income. Like the bursts came into the whole picture of like, no, I can leverage debt to buy this property, rehab it, and then have the bank give me debt on it. And that was a whole thing, changing your mindset ever so often just to optimize like how you move in your financial journey.
Yeah, so as Marlon RE says, after a few rentals, no W-2 can cover the loans. DSCR is the way. Yeah, so that's kind of why I totally feel that at some point, DSCR is the way to go. And if you're just keeping the W-2 for financing options, I mean, you're pretty, you might want to reconsider, if that's the reason why, right? You're holding on to that W-2. Alex, the accidental investor. Yeah, I believe he's heading towards Japan, or he's in Japan now. But he said he's at 41,000 feet right now. But yeah, Japan is a great place to visit right now. The dollar is so much stronger, so it's very cheap in Japan right now. So that's actually why even like Hawaii, the tourism is way down because the Japanese tourists aren't coming here. A lot of people from Hawaii are going to Japan instead and traveling.
I heard the same thing in Vegas. Like people are not going to Vegas.
That's what it seems like. Have you booked all your accommodations in Vegas yet?
Yeah, it was significantly cheaper than I thought.
And your boyfriend is going again this time? I
Yeah.
forget. No, right?
Yeah.
Well, he didn't have fun last. You just left him. That's so.
That's his complaint, yes.
Hyder says, I've never been a fan of OT. I never saw the benefit in trading more time as though that's some kind of special opportunity to sell more priceless life. Um, yeah, so that's a tough one. I mean,
As a firefighter. OT
well,
is where you're making money, right?
what is yeah, so there's guys that make a lot of money, but at the same time, like you're saying, they're trading a lot of time, right? And a lot of guys are trying to use it to pad their retirement because this before the system changed, a lot of times your OT counted towards the salary that was counted for your retirement. So some guys would pound the overtime the last few years of their career because they're at the highest pay. Now they're getting overtime, and all of that counts towards their base salary. So that was kind of the strategy before. So a lot of times guys would work a lot of overtime before they're going to retire the last few years. So all of that is factored for their pension. But it's unfortunately some people get hurt too at the end of their career, and they worked all this extra amount, and now they may not reap all the benefits because they injured themselves working all this extra hours, right? So you got to look at it strategically. I think the
I work a lot of overtime to get my primary residence here in Los Angeles, and I work a lot of overtime to get my first and second property out of state. So I understand the use, but make it with a goal. Like, don't just rely, like, expand your life and have to work overtime and to keep up with bills and then sustain. Like, that's not sustainable. We do it so with the goal on.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing. So even the younger guys, I try to tell them if you're gonna work overtime, right, like that money should be kept on the side, right? That you're using that for investments and whatnot. But I think the other tricky thing is even sick leave, or no, not sick leave, but like holiday. We get holiday pay, right, on certain holidays. And but we also have the option to not work. So like if it's a holiday, you cannot come in and you don't lose any leave. So like if you were to take off that day, you don't burn any of your vacation or sick leave. You just don't get the extra holiday pay. So some guys are all about working on the holidays because you get holiday pay. But some people look at it where, why am I going to come to work for half my pay? Because you still would get pay by not showing up. You still get your regular pay.
Right.
But if you come in, you get that time and a half, but you're basically coming to work for half your pay.
Yeah.
So some guys don't see it that way. But other guys, yeah, they break it down like, why am I going to work and only get half the pay,
Yeah.
basically?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
With the same amount of, yeah, I
yep.
understand.
So some guys take off all the holidays and they make that like kind of plan their family stuff or trips or something, right? Like, oh, this is the holiday. I know I'm not going to come in. I'm not going to lose any leave, but
But it's
uh,
a system that, firefighter has created, because I talk to other firefighters too. And then they are like, they do not want to take time off and they take every single overtime opportunity that they have. And they have doing that for years. And it is so ingrained into them that it's like almost like the army, like, oh no, you gotta go because that's your calling. Not only because of the money, but like that's what you do, that's what you've done, that's what you're gonna do. Kind of like that. They keep you on that little hamster going and going and going.
yeah. I do see some more people tuning in. I see Harrison from Virginia, and remember when you vote. So you might be new here, but thanks for stopping by. We did have to pivot today. Looks like you may have tuned in for some Bitcoin information. Coach Nick, lead Prejado on YouTube, had to cancel today. He's dealing with some real estate issues right now. So I just pivoted, and Lindsay was able to join me. But tune in next week, Saturday, for our weekly Bitcoin wrap up. But remember, when you vote, says be very careful with leverage. Take 5% of profits, dump it on blue chip crypto, and look at it as spent money. So I think Hyder will probably chime into you saying that Bitcoin and crypto is different. I'm pretty sure I'm waiting for that comment in the chats. But yeah, definitely tune in for next week. Remember when you vote. Let's see. Yeah, John is taking a shot at me. We can't all sit around
Looking at
milking an injury. Hey, man, I just went to my second procedure for my shoulder.
how long have you been a firefighter, Mark?
19 years altogether. Yeah.
He put in his time. Let him be.
Well, no. So I did have shoulder surgery. I had rotator cuff surgery, and the bicep popped off the muscle also. So they had to repair that. But this second procedure was more because I had frozen shoulder from the surgery. So basically, they give you the option if they're gonna put you under, or they just localize that area. So I stayed up to watch it or listen, and all you hear is just them, all this popping and cracking. They're just like cranking my shoulder around to break up all the scar tissue.
Hmm. Are you
Yeah.
in pain right now?
No, not right now. I had a medicine after. But right now it's more just it's still I can't move it fully. I still can't. I mean, I'm supposed to be stretching way more than I am. They want like 5 times a day stretching. Like it's crazy. I'm like, I don't have time to stretch 5 times a day.
Yeah,
But
you do. What else are you doing?
I'm
Jiu-jitsu.
no, I'm busy running around. I'm like at Costco. Oh, yeah, somebody asked about that Costco. But hold on, let's see. There was a question though. Oh yeah, John, deconstructing dreams says I work for the government. After our recent shutdown, I felt so much more secure having some real estate to help. Before I would have been super stressed. And yeah, I think Alex, the accidental investor who was also tuning in a little earlier, who's in Japan, felt the same way. Your government job wasn't working, but same thing. And I think he even was dealing with some vacancies during that time, but he still had real estate. So it definitely helped peace of mind a little bit. Um, John is saying keeping W2 for another 5 years means I get a pension and healthcare for life, my wife and myself. But I have a shorter timeline than most. Hmm. I'm
That's
interested. I'm interested to know though, does he only get a pension if he works 5 years, 5 more years? Because like for me, if I was to leave now, I'm still gonna get a pension. I'm just not gonna get the same
a full
amount of
pension.
my pension, right? Um,
I also think like everybody's goal is so personalized too. Like what works for me may not work for you. What worked for you may not work for me. So it is all about like what are you looking for, right?
John is saying, folks are always looking for side hustles. The best side hustles is OT. Yeah, I agree with that. But then I also feel like sometimes that's why you work longer than you have to, because you want that OT in a sense, where maybe you create a side hustle or create a business and then you can retire, but now you're working on something that I guess you truly enjoy, maybe, right? So, I mean, there's a couple ways to look at it, I guess.
Right. What if your job is significantly taxing on your body and doing overtime is, may even send you to the hospital sooner because of how dangerous it could be. Like I felt like I did nursing for 10 years. And then during COVID, I felt like I got an additional 10 years of nursing. It was like so much more work than it was before. So I couldn't afford to do OT then.
Let's see. Yeah, Joe's giving five. Well, me and Joe are not going to speak today until after the Bears Packers game, and then we'll see who wins the game today. Harrison is saying, Lynn, how is the midterm ADU treating you? Are you doing this as a long-term solution?
Yeah, so the midterm has been rented since I finished. I think I think the tenant is going to stay there until March of next year. I'm not 100% sure. She's kind of like month by month. I used to live with her, so she's a friend of mine. Um, yeah, it's a long-term solution for my house. Yeah, if it's, I don't know if I ever switch it to a long-term lease. I think I like the possibility of having month to month because I also, like I mentioned, I want to do a flip in California. So if I do move into the flip, then I will Airbnb this house, my primary residence. So I would like to keep that as a office, if anything.
Um, let's see. Yeah, Harrison is saying I should do red light therapy for my shoulder for the scar tissue. Hey, Chris Wissing is here. I'll put his YouTube channel in the chat shortly. We're trying. Our goal is to get him to 100 by the time the ORAD event is done. His I think both of his sons might be attending the Vegas event. I keep forgetting. I know one is for sure, but one of his teenagers is going to attend the event free, and they get to sit down with Cody Davis also. Hey, Jen's here. She's tuning in from your channel though, so we'll leave that. She's your biggest fan. Marlon RE says, yeah, I have dislocated my shoulder pretty badly. Makes the paddle out almost impossible. Yep. Uh, now John is, I guess because I'm on workers' comp, he's like, I went blind, had 4 surgeries, and back working. Now they say I broke my back and yet still shoveling.
Oh my
Well,
goodness.
that's why, because you keep working. That's the problem here.
John, you okay?
I'm not gonna lose, Joe. Come on. Hey, Josh is tuning in. He was on the Gen Z call. I must have wrapped up already. Hyder is saying healthcare is another one that never made sense to me. My health and my care is my responsibility with diet, exercise, and maintenance. This cannot be successfully outsourced as I know myself best.
Oh my God, this is such a controversial opinion.
Oh, okay.
as a nurse, I've seen all kinds of people, all types of people, extremely poor, extremely wealthy, sick from chronic health conditions that you could not help whatsoever, accidents, shootings, things happen at any place in the world. At any time of the stage, I've seen children die in my hands. So I definitely, healthcare, it's something you should plan for sure.
You heard that, Hyder? Lynn's gonna seek you out at the Vegas event and talk to you. Hold on, here's Chris's channel.
By all means, this does not mean that you should take care of your diet, exercise, and maintenance, and do prevention and care and all of those things. By no means it disregards that. You do need to think about your health. Just like Suber made this year, like 2025, about his health and all of that. Everybody should be looking at healthcare, the way that you eat, the way that you exercise, the way that you conduct your life, how you drink, how you smoke, how you do all those things. You should be thinking about, like, is this good for my body? Is this good for my brain? Before you even engage in any of that.
John is clarifying, says, yes, government has very specific criteria for the pension. In my case, yes, I do have to work until 62 to get the pension and health care. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, Chris is saying, yeah, his oldest will be joining him in Vegas. Yeah. Yeah. What are you hoping for Vegas? Is there any speakers you're looking forward to this year?
I'm hoping to hang out with all of you guys. I feel like last year when I went, there was like, such a family feel. Everybody knows each other. Everybody's so active in school. And even the people that are not, the people that you didn't know, like they existed, they still very much like leaning on each other and like wanting you to succeed. So it's just such a nice feel to be there in general. Not so much as speakers. I think the one speaker that I want to talk to is Rio Stay con Andrea. Andrea, the Venezuelan girl, is flipping and doing rentals in New Jersey. She's killing it over there. So, yeah.
Frank says he watches how he drinks, or I watch how I drink. Yeah. Chris Wissing says, just lift heavy, laugh a lot, don't eat shit food. Easy health hack. Yeah. Yeah, I agree too. Yeah.
Easier said than done, right?
Hyder says, injuries are not something I consider a maintenance issue. That's prevention with the safety between my ears. I'm typing about scheduled health maintenance is all me with the addition of others, but I am primary. Yeah. Harrison says, preach, Lynn. Need that good health care.
Gary Better is married to a nurse practitioner too, so I'm sure he hears all about.
Yeah, because last year you went to the event, you stayed at the Grand where everyone else was staying, and pretty much no one saw you, I think.
Well, I came in like the night before, just like, was it Friday? Yeah, I think it's Friday night, and I left like Sunday 6 p.m. So I was there like less than 48 hours.
So this year, what is the plan? You're going to be at the Denny's meetups and things like that?
I came in. I'm going on Thursday night. I'm gonna get there Thursday night, so hopefully I'll make it to the meetup. The meetup is pretty late. I don't know. I'm driving there, so I might be exhausted. So I might be there for like an hour or so, and then wake up early to go to Brandon's in the morning. I'm a morning person now, so we can do the coffee thing.
Yeah. Jen is looking forward to hearing from the doctor. Marlon RE says, does anyone feel having Pace as a lead speaker is way off topic to the ORAC community? All right, we'll save that one for Lynn's primary channel and Frank's channel. Yeah, no, I feel
What's your feeling?
it probably doesn't fit quite into Zuber's message, but I also think he's trying to expand the type of speakers there are, right, to accommodate different people. Because I think if it's the same general content, right, I mean, how interesting is that going to be if everyone goes up there and is kind of saying the same message, right? So I think he's definitely trying to incorporate people with different strategies, different viewpoints, and I think that's the one thing about the event. It's not an event where you're forced to sit down. It's not like, hey, this is the speaker, everyone has to sit down, right? And they're paying attention, taking notes or whatnot. This is more an event where you can sit down when a certain speaker is speaking. If you have questions, you can go up and ask questions, and that's the benefit you have. But if not, like I always tell people, I mean, I don't remember. I probably haven't sat down for any of the speakers at any of the events yet at year one or year two. I'm just out talking story with everyone in the crowd and other people there and networking. So it's really up to you. I mean, if some people probably really want to see Pace speak, so that'll probably be the one that they're going to sit down and maybe get a lot of benefit from. But for the most part, it's really you just find who relates to you. But I think he's just trying to expand the type of information that he's giving. But I do definitely feel, yeah, I don't know how many people from the the general one rent at a time community is probably going to be sitting down for that one. Let's see. Deconstructing Dreams says, looking forward to seeing all these teens. Yeah, what an incredible opportunity to start out life way better than a ton of debt from college. Yeah.
I still have that from college, so don't assume.
Yes, you did kind of chime in on that. Gus, who's a new member in school, who was on my live stream yesterday, he had a post in school talking about some student debt that has affected him recently. And I think next time he's on, he's gonna maybe dig into that a little bit more. He didn't want everyone to think he was a loser right off the bat. I said, let's dig into this. He's like, no, not on my first time on your channel. He goes, I don't want people to think I'm a loser kind of thing, right? So, anyways, but I did see Lindsay chime in on that about student debt also on his post. Jen is saying, I want the doctor to talk about more women's health. He might talk about PMS, and that's not property management software.
we
Frank.
can we can talk to Super about, you know, maybe
Oh,
like a little presentation of small section.
oh, Josh is not. So I guess I don't know. Maybe Josh hasn't heard. So Josh is asking what's happening on Friday. So Brandon, who says the Denny's meetups are too late for him, he is planning to have a Friday morning coffee meetup. I believe at Denny's also. I forget what time he said, but it's going to be a Friday morning one. Frank says he can't go Friday coffee with Brandon. Alex is heading home from Japan was great. Yeah. Uh, Harrison says pace is pace. I'm open for using tools to get properties. I am just not an MLM person. Yeah. Hyder saying same mentality with first responders. We are all our own first responder. Wasting time waiting for help is not a good plan. No one is coming to save you is a worthy presumption in how I live my life. Frank is working on some merchandise for the event. He had the black ORAT I found my tribe t-shirts coming out, and also don't get that ick on me t-shirt. John is trying to blame me for getting him in trouble last year at the ORAT event. I don't know what he's talking about. Okay. Lindsay, are you doing VIP or general admission tickets?
This year I'm doing VIP.
I am doing VIP. I am, but my honest opinion is not.
Right.
It's not necessary. The speakers typically make themselves very available, anyways. So if you want to speak to any of the speakers, you probably will have that opportunity. It's just this one is more focused at the lunch and dinner. You'll have a chance to actually sit down with them, and that's a good opportunity also. But coffee won't be the same without Frank. Jen is asking, is this the last Zuber event? Has Zuber spoken more about this? Hold on. You can touch on this real quick, maybe, Lindsay.
I haven't heard Super said. I think I heard him a couple times say it was the last event until he hits 100,000 followers on YouTube. But I think it's pretty close now, like 85,000 maybe. But he is I don't think it's the last one, honestly. I think he will continue to do this. I feel like the community keeps growing. Like we're almost all over 500 now. And then so with that will come more meetups. I know, Jen, you have a meetup in North California. Some people are meeting up in Pittsburgh. There's talks about another meetup in January. So I think that it's not going to be the last one.
So apparently Jen. Oh wait, no, yeah, he do the recording that I talked to Zuber about it. I think he already touched on it. So apparently Jen's not watching my recordings with Zuber, but
Ooh.
no, but I did bring it up because that was one of the questions someone wanted to ask, and I think he is more likely to do it now because of kind of the response that everyone has shown about the concern that it's not going or that it may be the last one, and I think even the amount of tickets that were sold earlier this year. So last year I think it was really a slow process, and even this year I don't think he's hit the number he wanted to sell, which is actually going to wrap up January 15th. If for those of you that haven't bought your tickets, you only have about a month left to grab your tickets. He's going to stop sale January 15th so you can figure out the food situation and seating and everything. But yeah, I think he's more open to doing it every year now. I think definitely the feedback from the community, and I think he's looking at it more just from that um, family reunion type of experience, right? So yeah, I think Jen's gonna be more involved this year. I think she's working on the name tags and everything, and every year there's little improvements, right? So I think the check-in was a little bit slow the past year, just because I think the name tags were filled out at the point of check-in, right? So people were checking in, filling out, and then it kind of just slowed everything down. I think this year, I think Jen wants to have pre-made name tags so that it's just you check in, grab your name tag, and go.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, anything else you want to talk about? Uh, yeah.
What is your 2026 looking like? Like, are you planning on getting more properties? Are you planning on doing more YouTube lives? Like, what is your goal with this channel now?
Um, I don't know. I'm just having fun. It's kind of what it is. But I kind of, it hasn't come out yet. But the last recording that I did with Zuber, I also mentioned where people that are on the fence about doing social media or even just starting a channel, this has been a big help. Or people talk about paying for courses and classes, right? But if you look at, now I have the opportunity every week to speak with Cody Davis. I have the opportunity to speak with Brandon. I have the opportunity to speak with Dion and Zuber. So it's like these opportunities have presented itself because of my channel, right? So like if I have a deal that I wanted someone to look at, I can always call Cody or message him. Hey, I'm working on this, or even Brandon if it's built. So my channel may not be. I mean, yeah, I'm making some money now, but it's like pennies. But it's more just the relationships, and now it's presenting myself with connections to where access to these people that are doing a lot more than I am. And if I ever had questions or it's a way to put myself in that room in a sense, right? Like what people talking about getting into rooms that you're not comfortable with. So this channel has just provided those opportunities, and then it's just helped also bring the whole Pittsburgh thing that we're doing and the group in the community. And so a lot of what I just purchased recently is more through the people that we work with, and it's now just so like the bird that I just did. Luckily, the appraisal came out better. I had to do two appraisals and whatnot because I changed lenders, but that was brought to me from Alex, one of the people we work with there, and so that was like a no money out of pocket deal, right? So those type of things are just coming more to my table just because of, I guess, what I'm putting out there, right? So maybe the channel itself is not, making a lot of money, but it's presenting different opportunities, right?
Yeah, it's organically coming to you now.
Yeah. Uh, yep. Josh says lots of Denny's meals in Vegas. Jason is saying VIP because if he actually sells for, oh, that's true too. I guess Jason wants to be VIP because if he does get to the 400 tickets, it's going to be very tight in the general admission area, like eating and whatnot. Uh, yeah, I think a lot of people are surprised. It doesn't sell as quickly. And it's weird because there's always a lot of people asking in the comments or even in school, like, what is this event everyone's talking about? So it's weird. Like people that do follow Zuber and that are even in school, some people still aren't aware of this event. And so yeah, it's kind of mind-boggling to me.
I see you doing
Um,
the work though. Everybody that comes in your channel, you're like, you're not coming, you're not buying your ticket yet. I know. I think next to you, Lauren is coming, right?
Lauren has committed. Well, she bought a ticket. Now, getting her there is one thing. She's like a butterfly, so we'll see if she actually shows up. Joel bought a ticket.
That's
Uh,
exciting though that you guys are putting up this speed dating thing.
n-
I always tell my
I
single friends, if you guys want to find any kind of men, definitely go to a real estate conference for sure.
so yeah, so Lauren brought that up in the live stream the other week, and Monica was on, and that thing just got. I don't know. People, I guess, are interested in doing it, so it's kind of funny. But we'll see if we have to put that thing together. Um, but yes, Lauren is committed. Emily has bought her ticket with her husband. Monica won't be able to make it. She's going to be on a ski trip that weekend, I believe. Who else is there? Oh, Gus. I put Gus on the spot yesterday. He has to talk to the wife about it. He said, but um, and then I think the one thing holding a lot of people back is the fact that it's in Vegas. So there's people that are like, oh, I don't want to do the whole Vegas thing and all this and that, and I know what happens in Vegas. But it's like I'm trying to tell people it's not even. I mean, if you want to do those things, like you'll have the time to do it on your own. But for the most part, the people that are hanging out together, it's just like people are just hanging out, right?
So still all-nighter hiders mentality is like you direct what you do with your body. So if you want to hang out and do the biggest thing, you can do the biggest thing. But if you want to again be healthy and be mindful about what you engage on, you can also.
Um, Jen is saying, I wonder if we can create some chat in school and pin it so everyone knows what's going on during the event or after event so people know upcoming speaker or dinner plans, etc. Yes. So the plan I know was that after last year, I know someone mentioned starting like a Google Sheet before the event and getting everyone's information that wanted to kind of be on this thread or whatnot. So you have everyone's contact information, and then that's a way to people that want to be a part of it, knowing what's going on. It's an easy way to just send out a message to everyone on there that this is. So I know that was discussed last year. I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to put it together, but if someone wants to take the lead on that,
I
uh,
think also like the biggest tickets thing, why it hasn't sold out because this is not a criticism whatsoever, but there's no marketing like what you see at other events, right? Like the 50% off, you get the Christmas save 10%, the VIP 20% off right now. There's no that constant CRM weekly email that you get that says like, we have 354 days left and 57 tickets available, like this is what's going to go. Like there's none of that for this event as well, and marketing does work, so I that's why people do it.
yeah. Jen is talking about speed dating. Does that apply to married couples? I think Jen's going to put together that speed dating event for everyone.
Yeah, I want to watch. I've never been to a speed dating, so I'm gonna be like with my popcorn just like
Well,
who's
supposedly Monica was like in 7 seconds she knows if it's like pass.
pass or fail kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Uh, Frank's trying to get me in trouble. He says, "Would there be a list for people we don't want to hang out with?" Uh, well, I think this is a great. Let's see. John is saying going to Vegas is about work and networking, so know what happens in Vegas won't be staying in Vegas. That is my tribe. And yeah, Jen. People are saying Jen is doing a great job. Oh, Jen, we'll wrap it up with this thing because Frank will be going live today, I believe, at what did he say? 1 p.m. Pacific, maybe. But I know there's gonna be a short-term rental call in school happening in about now. So we'll wrap things up soon. And then Jen says though she wants to figure out how Frank has that AI image of Cynthia and do conversations with Kenny before he doesn't want to talk to me anymore. So Frank, there's your job. Maybe you can help Jen figure out how to do that AI image thing. But everyone, thanks for tuning in. Lynn, thanks for jumping on last minute. Like I said, we did have to pivot. Hopefully, Nick gets things figured out, and we'll get the weekly Bitcoin wrap up going again next week. And who knows, maybe tomorrow, if he has time, I'll be able to throw something together. But well, I don't know. If the Bears lose, I ain't doing shit tomorrow. I ain't gonna be offline the whole. I ain't gonna be paying attention to anyone. But everyone, watch the Bears game. Cheers for the Bears today. And Lynn, thanks for doing this. And everyone, see you at the short-term rental call if everyone's joining. Okay,
Bye
bye.
bye.